Hey guys, welcome back to Click Academics. In today's video, I'm going to solve the equation 3 to the power of x minus 4 plus 3 to the power of y minus 4 is equal to 244. So this is our first equation in the system equations, and the second equation is x plus y is equal to 13. So I want to solve this system of equations and find the value of x and y. So for my solution, I'm going to first start by rewriting my second equation. So my second equation is x plus y is equal to 13. And I'm going to rewrite it to y is equal to 13 minus x. And the reason I'm doing this is so that I can plug in this value of y into my first equation here. So going back to the first equation, I have 3 to the power of x minus 4 plus 3 to the power of y minus 4 is equal to 244. So because I know that y is equal to 13 minus x, this turns into 3 to the power of x minus 4 plus 3 to the power of 13 minus x minus 4 is equal to 244. And 13 minus 4 is 9. So I get 3 to the power of x minus 4 plus 3 to the power of 9 minus x is equal to 244. Now, if I have something in the form a to the power of m plus n, this is equal to a to the power of m times a to the power of n. So this is an important exponential property that you guys should know. Now over here, if you notice, we only have subtractions. We have x minus 4 and 9 minus x. But we can rewrite these to be additions. So 3 to the power of x minus 4, I can rewrite as 3 to the power of x plus negative 4. And 3 to the power of 9 minus x, I can rewrite as 3 to the power of 9 plus negative x. So now, these turn into, by using this property, 3 to the power of x times negative 4 plus 3 to the power of 9 times 3 to the power of negative x is equal to 244. Now, 3 to the power of negative 4 is the same thing as 1 over 3 to the power of 4. And this goes the same with 3 to the power of negative x is the same thing as 1 over 3 to the power of x. So now from here, I'm going to let the variable m equal to 3 to the power of x. So if I substitute an m in, I get m over 3 to the power of 4 plus 3 to the power of 9 over m is equal to 244. And 3 to the power of 4 is 81. So I get m over 81 plus 3 to the power of 9, which is the same thing as 3 to the power of 4 plus 5 over m is equal to 244. And remember that property earlier, a to the power of m plus n is equal to a to the power of m times a to the power of n. I'm going to use it for 3 to the power of 4 plus 5. So I get m over 81 plus 3 to the power 4 times 3 to the power 5 over m is equal to 244. So 3 to the power 4 is 81, and 3 to the power 5 is 243. So I have 81 times 243 over m. Now from here, what I'm going to do is multiply both sides by 81m. So I get m squared plus 243 times 81 squared is equal to 244 times 81m. And if you're wondering how I got this, I just added these two fractions. I cross multiplied, and then because I had 81m as my denominator, I multiplied both sides by 81m to get rid of it. So now from here, I'm going to subtract 244 times 81m on both sides. And now if you notice, this is a quadratic equation. So to solve any quadratic equation, we can use the quadratic formula, which is negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2a. And in this case, my values for this quadratic equation are a is 1, b is going to be negative 244 times 81, and c is going to be 243 times 81 squared. So if I plug these values in, I get negative 244, which is positive 244, times 81 plus or minus the square root of negative 244 times 81 squared minus 4 times 1 times 243 times 81 squared. And I have all this over 2 times 1. Now this turns into 244 times 81 plus or minus the square root of 244 squared times 81 squared minus 4 times 243 times 81 squared. And all over 2. Now 244 squared, I'm going to rewrite this as 4 squared times 61 squared. So I get m is equal to 244 times 81 plus or minus the square root of 4 squared times 61 squared times 81 squared minus 4 times 243 times 81 squared. I have all this over 2 still. Now this is where I can simplify it. So I can rewrite this as 244 times 81 plus or minus the square root of the square root of 4 times 81 squared times the square root of 4 times 61 squared minus 243. And I have all this over 2. So now this simplifies to 244 times 81 plus or minus the square root of 14,884 minus 243 over 2, which is equal to 244 times 81 plus or minus 2 times 81 square root 14,641. All over 2. And this is equal to 244 Actually, I can factor out 2 from this first, so I get 2 times 122 times 81 plus or minus 81 times 121 over 2, and then these two cancel out, so I'm left with 122 times 81 plus or minus 81 times 121. And if I factor out 81 from this, I get 81 times 122 plus 121, so m is equal to this, or it's also equal to 81 times 122 minus 121. So m is either equal to 122 minus 121 is 1, 1 times 81 is 81. So m is either equal to 81 or m is equal to 122 plus 121, which is 243 times 81, and this is equal to 3 to the power of 4 times 3 to the power of 5, which is 3 to the power of 9. So now remember, we're not done yet because we're solving for the value of x, not the value of m. But remember how we let m equal 3 to the power of x. Well, the first solution of m is 81, which is 3 to the power of 4, meaning 3 to the power of 4 is equal to 3 to the power of x, so x is equal to 4. This is one solution of x, but remember, this is a system of equations. So every solution of x has a solution of y, and in this case, y is equal to 13 minus x. 13 minus 4 is 9, so I get 4, 9. So this is one solution. And my second solution regarding 3 to the power of 9, when x is equal to 9 in this case, y is going to equal 4. So I get 9, 4. So these are my two solutions.